Thailand sets 8 February for general election. ICC rejects Israeli bid to block Gaza probe. Good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. This is World Today. I'm Sahih Samshuddin. Thailand's next general election will take place on 8th February next year. The Election Commission said the parties must nominate their candidates for Prime Minister before the end of this year. Meanwhile, advance voting will take place on 1st February. Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul of the Conservative Bumjatai Party assumed office in September after his predecessor was removed over an ethics violation. He dissolved Parliament last Friday, paving the way for the national poll, which under Thai law must be held between 45 to 60 days after the dissolution. The move comes as a conflict stemming from a decades-long border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia reignited this month. Thailand-Cambodia border crisis. Thailand's military has announced the designation of the Gulf of Thailand as a high-risk area. According to Thai media, the move is aimed at cutting off sea routes used to transport military supplies to Cambodia. In a social media post, the Royal Thai Armed Forces headquarters clarified that the move is a safety precaution. It stressed that the measure does not constitute a full closure of the Gulf. Thai Foreign Ministry spokesperson said the ministry has sent a letter to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights to lodge a complaint against Cambodia's indiscriminate attacks on Thailand, including strikes targeting civilian areas. In a related development, Thailand's military said it has stopped fuel shipments passing through a border checkpoint in Laos. The move comes as Thailand's fierce border conflict with Cambodia enters its second week, heightening security measures along key transit routes. Thailand's military has restricted the movement of all fuel supplies through the Chong Mek border crossing into Laos after receiving intelligence that the fuel was being routed to Cambodian troops. A Thai Defence Ministry spokesman said the move was not intended to affect the Laos people or the government. The military is also considering limiting the movement of Thai vessels into what it described as high-risk areas in Cambodian waters where they could come under fire. However, a Navy official said such measures would not affect shipments from other countries. A sizable portion of Cambodia's refined fuel imports, such as gasoline and jet fuel, come via the sea route. Meanwhile, Cambodia accused Thailand of striking deep inside its territory, bombing the province that is home to the centuries-old Angkor temples, the country's top tourist attraction for the first time in the reignited border conflict. Cambodia's Defence Ministry claimed a Thai fighter jet had bombed near a displaced civilian camp in the area of Srei Nam district. The area is located less than a 2-hour drive from the Angkor temple complex and its top tourist attraction, the UNESCO heritage site Angkor Wat. The Information Ministry said it was also the first time Thailand's military had bombed areas of Siem Reap province. It added the bombing forced hundreds of already displaced families to flee an evacuation site. 5 days of fighting in July killed dozens of people before a truce was brokered, only to collapse within months, underscoring a long-running conflict rooted in the colonial-era demarcation of the two countries' border. The latest round of clashes between Thailand and Cambodia has killed at least 31 people, including soldiers and civilians, and displaced around 800,000. Each side has blamed the other for instigating the fighting, claiming self-defense and trading accusations of attacks on civilians.
Padamkan komputer untuk lebih penjimatan.
The International Criminal Court (ICC) has rejected a challenge from Israel which had argued that the court's investigation into crimes committed in the Gaza Strip was invalid. The tribunal, in its ruling, also upheld ICC arrest warrants for Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant to face accusations of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Israel had argued that the scale of the conflict after 7 October marked a fundamental change, triggering new legal obligations under Article 18 of the Rome Statute. Judges rejected that claim, concluding that no substantial change to the parameters of the investigation requiring new notification had occurred. The court said the original investigation, opened in 2021, already covered war crimes committed since June 2014 with no end date. The 44-page ruling upholds the decision to investigate alleged war crimes committed by Israel in Gaza. In July, the court already refused an Israeli request to withdraw the arrest warrants, as well as an appeal of that decision in October. Established in 2002, the ICC prosecutes individuals accused of the worst atrocities such as war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. The United Nations General Assembly has adopted, by an overwhelming majority, a resolution affirming the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination. A total of 164 countries voted in favor of the resolution, while only 8 voted against it. Meanwhile, 9 countries abstained. The adoption of the resolution reflects an international stance rejecting Israel's occupation measures and colonial settlement practices that obstruct the Palestinians' ability to exercise their right to self-determination and to live in dignity in their independent state. It also notes the International Court of Justice advisory opinion that Israel's occupation of the Palestinian land is unlawful and must end as soon as possible. This is considering its serious repercussions on the Palestinian people's ability to exercise their right to self-determination as guaranteed under the UN Charter and international law. The Israeli army has issued a directive to demolish 25 residential buildings in the northwest bank's Nur Shams refugee camp this week. Governor of the Tulkarem Governorate, Abdullah Kamil, said he was informed of the planned demolition by the Israeli military and civil coordination body. Faisal Salama, head of the Popular Committee for Tulkarem Camp, which is near Nur Shams, said the demolition order would affect 25 buildings holding up to 100 family homes. Early this year, Israel's military launched a wide-ranging and still ongoing operation at refugee camps in northern West Bank, including Nur Shams, Tulkarem and Jenin camp. The operation displaced all the residents and more than 30,000 have yet to return home. During the operation, Israel has destroyed hundreds of houses in the dense network of alleys that make up the camps to create easy access for its troops. The UN Agency for the Palestinian Refugees said there is no military necessity whatsoever for conducting the demolitions, calling it part of a broader strategy to change topography on the ground.
My Card bukan sekadar kad pengenalan, tetapi medium utama yang menghubungkan rakyat dengan pelbagai perkhidmatan kerajaan dan swasta. Banyak insentif kerajaan disalurkan melalui My Card, daripada bantuan kebajikan, kemudahan kesihatan hinggalah pelbagai program rakyat. Inilah keistimewaan yang dimiliki oleh setiap warga negara Malaysia. Sila periksa keadaan My Card anda. Sekiranya chip rosak, hilang atau My Card sudah uzur, segera lakukan penggantian di Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara agar hak dan kemudahan anda sentiasa terjamin. Inilah komitmen madani dengan dokumen identiti yang sah, moden dan diyakini, rakyat disantuni sebaiknya. My Card, identiti anda, kebanggaan negara.
US President Donald Trump said an agreement aimed at ending Russia's war in Ukraine is closer than ever, as his team reported progress after talks in Berlin. Trump spoke at a White House event after he called into a dinner in Berlin at which US envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were holding talks about Ukraine with President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders.
wants to get it, and the problem is but we're getting closer. We're having tremendous support from European leaders. They want to get it ended also. And at this moment, Russia wants to get it. And the problem is they'll want to get it ended, and then all of a sudden they won't. And Ukraine will want to get it ended, and all of a sudden they won't. So we have to get them on the same page. But I think that's working along. Very good talk.
Trump also said Europe, which has again proposed a multinational peacekeeping force despite Russia's opposition, would be a big part of any security guarantee. US officials said Ukraine could receive security guarantees modeled on NATO's Article 5 Mutual Defense Pledge and a proposed peace deal with Russia. In a separate development, US President Donald Trump said his administration could push to loosen federal restrictions on marijuana, reclassifying it as a less dangerous drug.
That shouldn't have happened. We are considering that, yeah.
Are you planning?
Because a lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify. So we are looking at that very strongly.
At the federal level, marijuana is currently classified as a Schedule 1 substance in the same league as drugs like heroin. The government considers these drugs to have high abuse potential without accepted use for medical treatment. But dozens of US states already have legal medical marijuana programs, and many also have approved its recreational use. According to a recent Washington Post report, Trump is aiming to push for a reclassification to Schedule 3 substances that are considered to have medical value and less potential for abuse. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has raised concerns about the International Criminal Court (ICC) during a televised broadcast, alleging that US forces attacked a Venezuelan oil vessel, leaving its crew missing. He also criticized what he described as the international community's silence over the incident.
¿Dónde está la Corte Penal Internacional? ¿Dónde está la Fiscalía de la Corte Penal Internacional? ¿Dónde está Volker Turk, que es el alto comisionado de derechos humanos? Volker Turk, ¿dónde está? ¿Dónde te escondiste? Porque ellos se la dan y que defensores de derechos humanos para atacar con mentiras a Venezuela. Pero aquí hay un caso de piratería. Unos corsarios asaltaron con armas un barco privado que llevaba petróleo venezolano. 6 están en narcotráfico.
Tensions remain high between the United States and Venezuela amid a large-scale US military buildup in the southern Caribbean. The strain has been fueled by US strikes on suspected drug trafficking boats and comments from President Donald Trump suggesting land operations could begin soon in Venezuela. Maduro further highlighted support from Iran, stating that he had received assurances of solidarity from Iranian officials. Still ahead, Australia to toughen gun laws after deadly Bondi attack.
Menggosok baju sekaligus boleh menjimatkan elektrik.
Australia's leaders have agreed to toughen gun laws after attackers killed 15 people at a Jewish festival on Bondi Beach. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese convened a meeting of leaders of Australia's states and territories in response to the incident, agreeing with them to strengthen gun laws across the nation. The tougher laws being considered would include limits on the number of guns used or licensed by individuals and a periodical review of gun licenses.
Thanks very much for joining us. We are stronger than the cowards who did this. And I want to conclude finally by saying that the government is prepared to take whatever action is necessary. Included in that is the need for tougher gun laws.
Albanese office said they agreed to explore ways to improve background checks for firearm owners, bar non-nationals from obtaining gun licenses and limit the types of weapons that are legal. Dozens fled in a panic as a father and son fired into crowds packing the Sydney beach on Sunday evening. A Cessna Citation III private jet crashed into Toluca, central Mexico, resulting in at least 6 fatalities. The aircraft had departed from Acapulco, heading to Toluca, carrying 8 passengers and 2 crew members. According to preliminary reports from the state of Mexico's civil protection authorities, it was confirmed that the fire triggered by the crash has been contained, with cooling and debris removal operations ongoing. The plane attempted to land on a soccer field, but instead hit a metal roof of a nearby business, triggering a significant fire. The cause of the accident is under investigation. The emergency crews are working at the crash site, urging the public to stay away from the area. An advisory regarding the increased risk of another strong earthquake was lifted following a magnitude 7.5 tremor that rattled northern and northeastern Japan a week ago. While residents are no longer asked to remain on alert to evacuate at a moment's notice, the government continues to urge them to take disaster preparedness measures, including stockpiling emergency supplies. The Japan Meteorological Agency, for the first time, issued a special alert covering 182 municipalities in 7 prefectures from Hokkaido to Chiba, east of Tokyo, due to an increased risk of another strong quake. While no megaquake struck the country during the week, 40 quakes registering 1 or above on Japan's 7-point seismic intensity scale occurred by 2 p.m. local time yesterday. Thousands of protesters rallied in Slovakia's capital against the abolition of the country's whistleblower protection office and hastily adopted penal code changes. About 7,000 people took part in the protest, which was called by a group of non-governmental organizations. The latest protest came after Slovakia's parliament approved further amendments to the penal code, including restricting who can be a cooperative witness in investigations. Last year, a controversial overhaul of the penal code already saw the easing of penalties for corruption and economic offences. Last week, Parliament also approved a law that critics say will reduce protections for whistleblowers by replacing Slovakia's whistleblower office with a body that will be placed under government authority. Los Angeles police have charged the son of Hollywood director Rob Reiner with murder after the suspect's parents were found stabbed in a brutal double killing that shocked movie fans around the world. Nick Reiner was detained hours after the remains of the actor-director and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were discovered in Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles with multiple reports that they had been stabbed to death or had their throats slit. Media reported that Nick Reiner, who has a history of substance abuse stretching back to his teenage years, had argued with his parents at a glitzy Hollywood party on Saturday evening. Reiner's output included classic films like 1984 rock music mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, Fantasy Jam, The Princess Bride from 1987, and the 1992 courtroom drama A Few Good Men. Next up in sports, Andre Anura ends 22-year long jump gold drought.
Sukan Sea Thailand 2025. Segala aksi, pencapaian, detik-detik kemenangan.
Tanduk ganda itu dia.
dan kemas kini semasa. Kutipan pingat keseluruhan terus dibawakan untuk anda sepanjang 10 hingga 19 Disember dalam Laporan Harian Pagi, 10 pagi, Laporan Harian Petang, 3 petang, Laporan Harian Malam, 8 malam, serta Sorotan Harian 11.30 malam di saluran OK dan Sukan RTM.
Indonesia masih lagi mengawal permainan. Adas naik untuk melakukan blocking. Jaringan penyama daripada Malaysia.
Juga boleh disaksikan secara penstreaman langsung di RTM Click.
National sweep ace Hugh Ho Yen clinched his second gold medal at the SEA Games after powering to victory in the men's 400 meters freestyle at the Sports Authority of Thailand swimming pool. Ho Yen clocked a time of 3 minutes 50.63 seconds to finish ahead of Vietnam's Tran Van Nguyen Quoc and Nguyen Huy Hoang, while national swimmer Muhammad Duha Zulfikri finished 8th with a time of 4 minutes 4.29 seconds. Ho Yen's first goal was in the men's 200 meters freestyle last Sunday. Malaysia also picked up a silver medal in the men's 50 meters breaststroke through Andrew Goh, who clocked 27.96 seconds behind Singapore's Chan Chun Ho, while Indonesia's Felix Victor Ibril took the bronze medal. Malaysian athletics star Andre Anura Anwar redeemed his failure to clinch a hat-trick of men's triple jump goals by winning the men's long jump event at Stadium Supacha Lasai. The success saw the 26-year-old athlete leap 7.71 meters to claim gold, ending Malaysia's 22-year drought in the event, last won by Muhammad Sharul Amri Suhaimi at the 2003 edition in Vietnam. He overcame challenges from Filipino athlete and defending champion Janri Ubas, who jumped 7.64 meters, while Andrew George Medina of Singapore took bronze with a jump of 7.53 meters. Andre Anura said he could hardly believe he was holding a SEA Games gold this time after luck had not favoured him in the men's triple jump, where he only won silver. Andre Anura added that he will now shift his focus to preparing for the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Meanwhile, Malaysia's rhythmic gymnastics squad leap, twirl and dance their way to a team gold at the SEA Games. Led by 2022 Commonwealth Games gold medalist Ng Jo Ee, the Malaysian team earned a total score of 234.60 points in the final at the Gymnasiums 5 Thammasat University Rangsit campus in Pathum Thani. The format saw 2 individual gymnasts perform 4 routines each, while 6 others performed 2 routines. Team manager Afrita Ariani Nasril said the team chose to perform 5 ribbons in the first routine and 2 hoops and 3 balls in the second routine. Afrita said Jo Ee and Mavia Wong, on the other hand, were tasked to do 2 individual exercises. Host Thailand came in second place with 222.36 points, and the Philippines finished third with 174.42 points. The national under-23 football squad will now focus their efforts to secure the bronze medal after they failed to advance to the finals of the SEA Games football competition following their 0-1 loss to Thailand in the semi-final at the Raja Mangala National Stadium. Thailand scored the solitary goal of the match in the 8th minute, courtesy of a free kick by Yotsakon Burapa from outside the penalty box that sailed directly to the left of Malaysia's goal. Malaysia did their best to find an equaliser in the first half and had several decent chances, but were denied by Thai defence. The Harimau Muda then had to play with only 10 men from the 6th minute onwards after right back Muhammad Aiman Yusof Muhammad Nabil was sent off after receiving his second yellow card. Even then, the Malaysians fought bravely, doing their best to find the elusive goal, but the Thais held firm to keep the scoreline 0-1 and denied the Malaysians a place in the final. With their defeat, Malaysia will play the Philippines in the bronze decider on Thursday, as the Philippines lost 0-2 to Vietnam in the other semi-final match. The last time Malaysia won a medal was the silver in 2017 in Kuala Lumpur. Bournemouth's early junior Krupi struck late to salvage a point for his side in a 4-4 draw with Manchester United, capping a Premier League thriller that swung wildly from start to finish. United's Ahmad Diallo opened the scoring with a close-range header in the 13th minute after goalkeeper Jorge Petrovic initially saved Diego Dalot's cross. However, the visitors gradually began to find their feet and equalised through Antion Semenyo in the 40th minute. Casemiro restored United's lead with a header from a corner on the stroke of half-time, gifted by goalkeeper Petrovic's fumble save attempt. But they were packed back again when Ival Nilsson struck seconds after the break, while thousands of fans at Old Trafford had yet to return to their seats. Marcus Tavernier scored with a low free kick in the 52nd minute to put Bournemouth ahead, but United fought back with Bruno Fernandes curling in a set piece of his own in the 77th minute to level. Matheus Cunha thought he had scored the winner in the 79th minute when Benjamin Sesko sent the ball in from the left wing and the Brazilian slotted home. But Krupi silenced United's fans just 5 minutes later when Alejandro Jimenez found him on the edge of the box in the 84th minute. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka has been named WTA Player of the Year for the second consecutive season after spending the entire year at the top of the rankings. Sabalenka capped a dominant 2025 campaign by successfully defending her US Open title, leading the tour in match wins and titles, reaching 9 finals. She finished as a runner-up at the Australian Open and Roland Garros and reached the semi-finals of Wimbledon. The Belarusian won 4 trophies overall and recorded 63 victories over the season. As she retained the third year and number 1 ranking for a second straight year, Sabalenka also set a single season prize money record of $15,008,519. Lionel Messi thanked his supporters in New Delhi as his 3-day tour of India came to an end. The Argentina captain delighted throngs of fans at the Arun Jaitley Cricket Stadium as he and Inter Miami teammates Luis Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul entered the stadium and kicked a handful of soccer balls into the stands. Messi was presented with a souvenir cricket bat and each of the players were given an In-India cricket jersey with their names and numbers on the back. They met with local officials as well as former India soccer international Baichung Bhutia on the pitch. At his final stop, Messi thanked his fans for all the love they had shown him and his teammates and promised to return to India someday.
Sukan Si Thailand 2025.
Jangan lupa saksikannya hanya di RTM. Yahoo!
Semangatnya sudah terasa. Nantikannya hanya di RTM. Penyiar rasmi.
And that wraps up World Today. In our top story, Thailand set 8 February for general election. Tune in to Malaysia Tonight, coming up at 8:30 p.m. on TV1 and saluran Berita RTM. I'm Sahih Samsudin. Salam Malaysia Madani and have a great day.